That's
it. You're right. I mean, he had something.
Yeah, it's something to go off of, and he had a couple big interceptions, big plays on the ball, that made you look and think, okay, this isn't just a kid moving to defense because there's a different quarterback there. It's a guy who can actually help them out on that side.
All right, hey, guys, I want to put you experts on the spot of the Denton area teams that the Denton Gridiron Show covers and that you guys cover. Who has the best shot of making it to the state title?
I think you have to go with Argyle.
I would have to agree on that.
Yeah.
Just when you look at all classifications, they're the number one team in 4A, and I know that they've got a lot of, I guess, new faces. But I mean, every year, I mean, you talk about Argyle. Let's just put in another piece. Let's just put in another piece. Somebody always comes up big. It is. It's a factory, and Todd Rogers has had a good thing going there for quite a long time. So I would say,
if they did make it, would that be 6 and 9 years?
They
5
went
and 8.
in
2005,
11,
13,
14,
15. So that'd be 5 and 8 years.
Yeah. They are, I would say that they are easily a favorite for.
No, that's the easy answer. If you had to choose another school, who would you pick?
Hey, by the way, Argyle, we saw that crane moving in, that new press box. We look forward to checking that out.
The press box. I want to say this. Everybody keeps talking about the new press box over at Argyle, and it's going to.
I have not seen it.
It's going to be fantastic. I've talked to Andy over there and got and Coach Rogers got some of the specs. It's going to look amazing. But with that being said, even with the tiny little press box that they had, they take care of you over there.
Man. Chick-fil-A.
They take care of
cookies.
So it doesn't matter if we were sitting in a
media guys do like to eat.
Only bad thing about that press box, I'm not sure if the new one has it. I'm guessing it probably doesn't. Still, was that there was no bathroom in the press box.
Well, that and it.
So if you drink too much water, you're like, oh god.
It was the biggest wasp nest.
There were a lot of wasps there too.
County.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'll let the young buck go first. If it's not Argyle, who would you say?
I think Lake Dallas has a chance to go on a deep playoff run just because I do.
Open.
It's wide open, and I do like how much experience they have back, and they do have probably the best quarterback at this point returning in the Denton area, and Ryan Depperschmidt. I think in Division II at 6A, I think if Geyer gets everything ironed out early in the season, I have a hard time seeing them not being able to make it to at least the fourth round, and then you're right there. I
feel like Geyer is, and really, Geyer is one of those programs that, I said earlier, I think you have to be able to run the ball to make deep playoff runs. They always can run the ball. They always pride themselves on defense, and they always have a good offensive line. And this year they have 5 new offensive linemen, which is
right.
I don't think that's ever happened. And not since they were going 1-9. I don't know the last time that they've had 5 new offensive linemen, but they average about 280 across the front, and they're all good. And so I feel like when you can run the ball like they do and you can play defense, you always have a shot to make a good run. And I just thought they're one of those programs that can always go on a run.
Well, and the big thing that hurt them last year was long touchdowns. I don't know the exact number right now, but it'll be in the Geyer team story in the football magazine that comes out next week. They gave up a ridiculous number of long touchdowns last season. And I think with the defensive line they have, being able to create more pressure on the quarterback, and with the guys they have in the secondary, like we said, Trace Jewell, you got Brent Jackson coming back. Deuce Harmon at corner is going to be really good. And then you have a rotation of guys on the other side at corner in Seth Metter, Jaden Fugit, and Travis Romar. All those guys can play. I think the offense was there last year with Kadrick, even without being able to throw the ball. The defense is going to be a lot better this season, and that'll make a big difference late in the year.
Right.
I think that's a great segue into MVP talk, and we'll kind of wrap up the show there, unless you guys have anything else you want to slide in.
No, I think I'm good.
I want to ask Brady one thing. Okay. So, for those who don't know, Brady's in the same spot that I was in at the DRC for 11 seasons. So, I got to see Gerard Hurd's career at Geyer.
Yeah.
Saw J.W. Walsh's career at Geyer before that. There for a good while, it was crazy. I think it was, 6 seasons where the starter was either J.W. Walsh or Gerard Hurd. I mean, it was just so consistent.
Yeah.
But people forget that Gerard Hurd he struggled as a sophomore.
Yeah.
He started the whole year and his numbers didn't look that bad. He threw for, I think, around 2,500 yards.
Right.
Which was by far the most yards he threw for in his career of any season in his career.
Yeah.
But he only rushed for about 650.
Yeah.
And I think they got beat in the second round of the playoffs.
Mansfield. It was a Mansfield.
I think it was the second round.
Yeah.
Comparing Eli Stowers to Gerard Hurd, going into sophomore year, how many yards do you think Eli Stowers will account for this year? I know you were probably 13 years old when Gerard Hurd was a sophomore. I'm just throwing that number out there. Anyway, I know you didn't watch those games, but I'm curious about. I think Guy probably has a little bit better of a supporting cast right now than they did back then.
Yeah.
What kind of season do you see him having? Everyone's been raving about him really for the past since he was in 8th grade. To be honest with you, I mean, when he was in 8th grade, people were talking about this is our guy.
Yeah.
What do you think he's going to do this year?
Man, I hate putting specific numbers out there, but
This is my show.
Yeah.
I don't see how he wouldn't be able to. He's got the arm to throw for 2,000 yards, 2,500 yards if they end up throwing the ball that much, and they have the receivers to do that. So I think he's at a point right now, confidence wise, he's a real good leader over there. He's got the arm to do it, and he has the running ability to keep defenses honest. So I think he'll rush for 1,000 yards. I think any quarterback at Geyer should be able to put up 1,000 yards on the ground. And I think he can throw for 2. So I wouldn't say that 3,000 total yards would be out of the questions. I think that's probably where I see him going, what I see him doing this year. And, it could be a bit of a learning curve early in the season when you start with the Lido and Cedar Hill.
Right. Yeah. There's not pancakes, Patsy's there to start with.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
so, but I don't think that would be too out of the question. And like I said, I don't want to hold him to that, before the year gets going, but I think he's good enough to put those kind of numbers up.
Lots of people might not know that he's also the son of a Texas high school football coach. His dad is not coaching anymore, but he was the head coach at Little Elm for a while. So, give me a coach's kid at quarterback, and I'll go to battle with that guy. I think there's something to be said for that. And even though his dad isn't a coach anymore, he still grew up around the game.
Yeah.
He has that going for him. So that's something that a lot of people might not know. But
both he New Mexico State. Defensive back.
I think so.
Both he and Kadrick Cobbs are really smart kids back there. I mean, you have like you said, coach's kid. It's natural. Kadrick Cobbs is the coach's kid too.
Right.
So you have both of those guys are smart guys in the classroom too. So it's just, you have just having smart kids back there can make a big difference.
It's better than having dumb kids.
Right. I guess if you put it like that, but just both of those guys are both good leaders over there, and I think both of them are going to have a big season this year for Geyer. Obviously, Kadrick did so last year, but I don't think that that it will take too long at all for Eli to get into it.
Yeah. All right. Well,
let's roll down great question, Boedeker. Let's roll down the MVP list, and we'll try to get everybody out here by 9:00 is our goal. And again, thanks for tuning in. It'll probably go a little longer than that, but hey, we don't want everybody to tune out on us. But start with Ryan Raiders, Mr. Gamel, MVP candidate for the Ryan Raiders.
Wow.
Putting you on the spot. There's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people. You know what? I've mentioned a lot of names today, and this kid is always telling me to tweet about him.
If you say what I think you're going to say, I'm going to be mad. Go ahead.
I am out of everybody, and really, it could be a tie in a lot of respects. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say Delshawn Neal.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say Delshawn Neal because he had a great year last year as a starting defensive end as a sophomore, and he is coming back not only starting at defensive end, but he's also going to be a big body on the outside at receiver. To give Ryan some options. I saw their scrimmage the other night, and both quarterbacks were hitting him, down the sideline for some long passes. And so I'm gonna throw that out there. That's tough though when you factor in Trey Smith and Drew Sanders. I mean, Drew Sanders is a monster. There's a lot of good guys out there, but I'm gonna say Delshawn.
Okay.
And hey, just a reminder, if you're just now tuning in, we're just talking about a couple of the teams tonight. We'll finish it up next weweek. So if we leave your team out or we don't talk about your team, it's coming next week.
We didn't want to have like a 3-hour show.
So. Let's bounce over to Lake Dallas MVP candidate.
I think it's pretty easy to go with Ryan Depperschmidt right there. The numbers that he put up last year were pretty good, especially considering that he didn't even have the job in hand until August rolled around. And I think that he's got the weapons around him with Kylie Smith and Braden Engel. Brandon. Yeah, sorry. And both of those guys were 1,000-yard offensive players last year, and so you have both of those guys back with with a strong offensive line. I think it'll be easy.
I will say I covered all their games last year, and man, I was just.
He's a gamer.
Oh God, I was so.
He's
confident, but he's also he is so tough. And,
yeah.
When your quarterback's tough, I think your whole football team is tough. I think that's.
I've heard plenty of that.
I've heard plenty of coaches that I respect say that, and it sounds cliche, but I really do believe it. If you have a tough quarterback, like Steve said, the team generally follows the quarterback, and when he's tough.
Well, you look at a couple of years back with Lake Dallas with Dagan Hahn.
Yeah,
that was a tough dude. Yeah. And he came back earlier than I think expected, maybe with the ACL injury.
I've always said Lake Dallas is just it's a scrappy town. Like the whole town is just it just reeks of scrappiness.
Depperschmidt, I know he plays baseball. Does he also play basketball?
I don't think
so. Two-sport.
But I know last year he took a beating a lot of games and. You mentioned the offensive line.
Yeah, it should be better this year.
Yeah, well, that's good because I don't know if he could survive another year like last year. But he is a gamer and he is the easy pick for MVP for Lake Dallas.
Yeah.
But let's move on to Guy or Brady.
Okay.
Puts you on the spot.
I know who he's gonna say.
Do you?
Yes, I do. But I'll let you say it.
I'm gonna go with Seth Metter.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
I didn't think he would.
We're talking about both sides of the ball.
I think he's going to be the guy who has the chance to impact the game the most because they'll use him to start at corner and receiver when they need him to. And he'll be their top weapon in the passing game, and he'll be the guy that they put on somebody when they need to shut him down. Defensively.
I know he had it was a laser time. Guy doesn't do 40s,
right? So he went to the Nike Spark camp or the Rivals camp in Dallas, and he got lasered as was 4.48 laser. Wow. But
I thought it was better than that.
But with a laser,
4.48's good. I thought it. Yeah, but still, with the laser, that's insane. That's not hand time.
Yeah, he went to the state in the hurdles.
Yeah. He's
a good athlete.
He's fast. Put it that way.
He's put on some size. He's gotten stronger too. I think he's going to be a really good player for him this year.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's move on up geographically. Denton Broncos.
Man, there's a
lot of guys you could go with.
A lot of guys. I'd say there's a tie there between Landry and Xylon, just because. I mean, you get those two working in the right direction, and that's going to be a pretty solid offensive attack. I think Landry is due. He got injured with the knee injury, and we all agree that he's a really good quarterback.
Another tough kid, gamer, coach's kid again.
Yeah, again, he's got the lineage there.
I just think I think you got to go there just because he's the quarterback, and that's
where he goes. They go
exactly,
I think, especially if he stays healthy.
He impressed me last year in that Ryan game, and that was a game where Denton was probably overmatched, and you wouldn't have known it by watching him. I mean, he hung in that game and had them right in it for a good while.
And I think the confidence level goes up as you get older. I mean, obviously he's coming back from an injury. He did throw quite a few interceptions and had some turnovers last year that you could probably put on him. But that comes with being a first-year starter, and I think a lot of those are going to disappear, a lot of those mistakes, and with that is going to come an increased confidence level, and you're going to see the kid just take off.
Yeah.
One more thing. Let's talk a little bit about Liberty Christian real fast. They have a new head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Greek.
Yeah, he's got skins on the wall, especially in taps. I mean, and really, like I said earlier at dinner, I say especially at Taps, but Plano Prestonwood wiped the floor with Lake Dallas last year, and I was at that game.
48-0.
I was like, oh my God, this team is good. They had skill all over the field.
Yeah.
And a lot